Welcome. So can't tell, we're having some technical difficulty up here, but and actually there's two technical difficulties we've had this morning. One is obviously getting our TV and projector to work on multiple computers and multiple devices. We do have it working, but as you can tell, most of you probably can't see it. But that's okay. We're going to talk a lot tonight, or this morning. So, but the first thing is I hate to start out a morning, especially if so many of you here, that survey, the guessing survey. Unfortunately, we learned a hard lesson that that link is a preview link, and we do not have the results. So, unfortunately, we're scrapping that because we don't know who submitted those results. We learned a hard lesson that in SurveyMonkey, you can do a preview and then make it live, and it's two different links. Hard lesson to learn within a short notice like this. So, we're still going to unveil the actual opening day at the end of today, but unfortunately, we're not doing the fun little drawing and contest. But, okay, got that out of the way. The good thing about all renovations and all operations is there's things that you don't expect. And so the good news is, if that's the worst we have to open the golf course, I'm happy with it. Let's get it out of the way and let's be done with it because we got a lot of great days and a lot of great things ahead of us. So, okay, look, that's out of the way. Let's get this started. We got a great day today. We got a lot of fun things to talk about. We're going to start out with Jim Loopy to go through again. And I know a lot of you have already seen the videos. We're out of the tours, have listened and talked to all of us. But, we want to still do a quick recap. He's going to go through all the great things that the team did last fall and this spring. We're going to talk about what to expect this year. So Caleb's going to go through that and talk about some of the things that as we kind of reopen the that you will experience when you get out there. We're going to go through and have a nice little panel session with the renovation team. Tim Liddy's here, golf course architect, and we got some questions for him and Jim, myself, Caleb, that Jack will be emceeing for. And then also all of you can ask more questions at that point. And then Jack's going to go through and talk about some of the things for this year, as far as some policies, some reminders, some different things to expect for this year. We also have some updates on junior golf. And then updates also around what's happening, some new things that you're going to see out there this year. So Jack and myself will go through that. And then the big reveal. It's like a big, my kids are 20 and 17, and so we didn't have reveal parties for babies, but I feel like this is what this is all about. But anyway, and then we'll talk about the opening weekend and what that entails. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to hand the mic over to Jim Loopy, and he's going to go through all the things that we've been doing, or they've been doing over the last 6 to 8 months. Okay? So, Jim Loopy.
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see everybody this morning. I haven't seen a lot of you since last August when everybody kind of flew the coop out of here, right? And got to the greener pastures. So we're going to kind of overview what we did last year on the golf course. Obviously, we had that layer problem, so we removed the top 5 inches of greens mix, which was that layer. Got rid of it. The greens went back to the original sizes. Oops. The greens went back to the original sizes. We found the liner of our original greens. You can see that. We made some minor recontouring adjustments on the surfaces to maximize pin placements and accept new green speeds that will come in a couple years. We regraded the immediate surrounds to ensure the proper tie-ins. Since our greens kind of shrunk a little bit height-wise, we had to shrink the surrounds as well. We reseeded our greens to 007 XL bent grass, which is the new super bents. It's the new premier hybrid of those bents. Residing disturbed areas around the greens complexes with our Bridgewater Blend Fescue Bluegrass Mix, which is really a great sign around the greens that it's going to really hold up well. We can go up to the bunkers.
It's you right there.
You're right, Jim. Oops, sorry. Awesome. Okay, on the bunkers, we totally rebuilt every bunker out here, right? We touched every one, eliminated a couple. We're down to 100 total bunkers. We removed all the old sand, all the old drainage in them. and installed new drainage, new pea stone, new liner, and new sand. Recontoured all the faces and surrounds, new solder around all the green side bunkers and all fairway bunkers. We added, it's called the Signature 700 Series Best Sand. It's out of Cleveland, Ohio. That was approximately 1,600 tons of it. It was 68 semi-loads that we spread out there. Again, resided all the bunker faces and bunker surrounds with our new Fescue Bluegrass mix. On the miscellaneous side of it, we rebuilt the practice green up on number 1 tee, which is a great addition, right? Really a nice size up there. We last week repaved the first tee cart path all the way from the bridge on 1 tee to 2 tee. We eliminated bent grass contamination in our rough and reseeded approximately 40 acres. That turned out really nice. Filling and leveling of low spots in numerous areas on the golf course where we had some old sunken stump holes, potholes, stuff like that. We kind of leveled off and made it a little more enjoyable to ride around. Hole number 3, our creek project, is in the mix right now. We're kind of shoring up the fairway side of that creek bank, and we'll have it sodded, I'm hoping by the end of the weekend or Monday. Tree trimming. We trimmed every tree on the golf course from 1 to 18 and the entrance. Raised the canopy, did some dead wooding, and removed some ones that were kind of unwanted. That, I think, is going to be a huge key. I think that's going to really show the whole project's going to look nice and clean. It's really a nice little addition we did. We added 7 new forward tees out there on holes 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, and 16. So nice addition there. And then we also enlarged tees on hole 8 and 15 to give us more tee space in those punch reads. So nice addition. Okay, remaining things that we still got to do. We still have to go through all the bunkers, make an audit on sand depth, push some sand up on some edges. We've started the process to get our system down. We just kind of have to finish it off. Sod and overseed remaining areas in the rough. We still have some areas where we had soil piles that we're still kind of cleaning up. The focus is on the left side of 3, behind 2. We need to overseed the area between 11 and 17 where we had that huge pile. And then once that seed germinates, we need to kind of keep it going throughout the property. Seeding and sodding areas on the first tee and the new putting green. We did that yesterday, so that's all done. Final preparation of greens, the tie-ins and approaches for maximum playability. We're still doing that. The next couple of weeks will be aerifying, top dressing, and kind of smoothing those areas out. A lot of them are in really good shape. We just have a couple that are kind of give us a hard time a little bit. Not too bad. And then last but not least, we have a company coming in next week, grinding tree roots on carpet. We'll start on number 6. Okay, what to expect for 2026? I think I'm supposed to hand it over to Caleb.
There you go.
Thank you for how you did.
Okay, I'll play around with the mic a little bit, but let's see. Not on the screen. I just kind of want to start out with kind of a golf course maintenance in general, right? We're putting our plants in a situation that's not ideal nor natural. You know, we're grooming our plants as a playing surface for golf. So, in essence, we're never putting the plant at the top of the list. So that's just golf in general. That's everywhere. But what we're going to talk about today is these plants are still in a very young stage, toddler, juvenile, however you want to talk about. They are not mature. So the expectations for this season are going to be, they're going to be very dynamic. And we just want to talk to you today about where we're at currently, the things we will do throughout the season that might not have as much consistency day to day just because of the plant's reaction. So 2026 is going to be about plant health, right? We're no longer going to put that as the second or third issue in comparison to playability. So if you hear anything from any of us, it's going to be about plant health. So these seedlings that are now in a young stage, they're performing very well right now. But the goal is to put all of you on them daily. And how are they going to react to foot traffic, ball motion, the daily maintenance that we're putting on them? Because right now we're maintaining them, 40 to 60% of what we will once we open for play. Because we have other things going on and they just can't take the constant mechanical wear and tear. So just a few little points here is growth and nutrition they're hand in hand, and that's going to slow down the greens as much as possible. As a plant grows and it's healthy with fertilization, there's more leaf tissue, creates more friction, slows the ball down. That's the physics of planting. But in the first year of a plant's life, it requires much more nitrogen or nutrition and all the other supplemental elements that we normally don't provide on a mature plant. So right off the bat, we're going to feed it more often. It's going to grow more. They'll be fuller and healthier than they will be in the future. So right out of the gate, that's just going to bring our ball speed down just a touch. But this is a long-term goal so that in the second year, the third year, we can really maximize how we're moving and our ability to work the plant. The other thing is our height of cut. We're going to be about 10% higher. Once again, more leaf tissue. But that also is very beneficial for photosynthesis and the health of the plant. And then a reduction of rolling. We will not, in a normal season leading up to this, we were rolling 5 to 6 days a week with a mow. So you would get a mow and a roll 5 to 6 days a week. That's on average in the growing season. That is not going to be the case this year. And that's a big one because we're not going to stack up back-to-back rollings until the plant can take the stress. Our focus is going to be on smoothness. So what you'll hear us talk about is we want the consistent ball roll. We don't want the wobble. We want to keep it on plane and true. By doing that and focusing on that, we're really going to give us the ability to provide consistent and well-maintained ball roll that is the best that we can achieve. They're not going to be putting on Velcro, but they're not going to be what we're used to in the years past. And as we transition, there's going to be days where you might play on a Thursday and the weather conditions were great and they putted amazing. And then we have some humidity and some weather come in and we decide we're not going to mow and roll today. We're just going to mow or we're just going to roll. You might not have that day-to-day expectation. And that's going to be between us and Jack in the shop communicating. We'll see how it goes. We don't want to over communicate, but we also want to make sure that you guys are in the know. So if it's a drastic change in oh my goodness, we're going to do this less often. Those will be like, we'll let you guys know that. The minute, little things that we do here and there, we're not going to inundate you with all the data and all that. We're more than happy to answer all the questions. We want you to know that we're here. Between Jim, myself, our staff that we meet, you stop, introduce yourself to some of the new guys on our staff, and ask questions, and they'll be able to articulate it. That's our goal, is to have a team here that's here for you guys to give you the information you need and you want, and not just pound your heads in with it. Because if we start talking about plant physiology and I can sound really nerdy and not really enjoyable to listen to. So luckily I married someone that can handle it. But that's just the overview of kind of the putting surfaces. And we wanted to focus on it because that's the project, was greens and bunkers. And then we started to realize, if we're going to do greens and bunkers, what else can we do? So there were a lot of things outside of the scope of our original design And then when we got Tim on property and his view of what, this would work and this would work while we're here. So there's a lot of things out there going on, but our focus will always be on those greens. So that's where all our time and resources are going to be while we're maintaining the rest of it. We'll have a little Q&A so we can answer some questions in, but other expectations with the first hole, we had this discussion if you were at any of our ride-arounds last year, but our goal will be targeted restrictions and we'll get rid of the ropes off the first tee. That's the goal. The first year, similar to our new turf on the greens, is we're going to have a lot of new sod on the cart path edges and around the bunkering. So that cart traffic is going to be, shifted by us. We hope that you, as the membership, can see if you see a tire track or something that just looks off, be like, we're going to go this way, right? And those are just the wear patterns that we're going to see as the golf course gets put back into play, right? Right now, it's only traffic out there is from our crew and where they're driving. So those will be some other things to expect. You might not see a rope and stake somewhere, and then all of a sudden you're like, that from? And those will be ones that we communicate with Jack so that you guys and gals on the first tee or when you're in the shop will be like, all right, I'm looking for this because we've got some extra wear there. That kind of moved into that side restriction around bunkers. Our second cut, this is another area where we're still figuring it out. A lot of our sod, all of our sod around the bunkering came to the fairways. So similar to young plants, we mow our step cut or second cut, intermediate at a third of what our normal height is. So if you're taking off another 60% of that plant, that's just a lot more stress. So we're going to try to get it down to define it. But if we go out there and step it down, a little bit, a half an inch or a quarter of an inch, and it just stresses it out, we're going to just stay there for a minute. So our goal will be to slowly get that back in so that by the end of the season, we've got the step cut all the way around. We will have our step cut around the green surround. So it'll be the similar 2 passes with a push mower. So we'll have that nice little step cut around the green. The last thing that I'm going to talk about are ball marks. Sterile environment for these greens, very little organic matter. So as they mature, they're going to produce organic matter, which then is on the surface. And we dilute it with sand to keep them firm. We don't have that right now. So we will, this first year, we're going to see ball marks and everybody's going to be like, well, we redid these greens and they're still ball marking up. It's going to be year 2 that makes an improvement. Year 3 that they'll be fighting back. And hopefully at that point, we won't have those ball marks. Our goal is not to have the exploding ball marks that we've had in the years past. You are going to have ball marks, and Jack has put out a video, so you guys will hopefully see that on how to repair those, and that'll be that on the ball mark part of it. I just want to introduce a couple of our assistants. They're in the back of the room. I've got James Kelb. And Kyle Lupin. So James came to us early March. He was on property 3 years ago for 2 or 3 years, 2 years. And now he's back on property. He was not here last fall for the project. So when he walked in, he saw a different golf course than what he had seen when he worked here 5 years ago. Kyle has been with us, and between Kyle, myself, and Jim, we were the 3 managers basically for the project. I don't want to discount anything of what James has done, but on this project, obviously, he came in at the back end of it, and we're excited to have him. I just really want to talk about Kyle's commitment. The hard thing you don't realize during a project, especially of this scope, that I think Jim and myself, everybody that's done one talks about it, but until you live it, you don't realize how much time it takes and what you put into it. So I know how excited I am to present it to you. I know how excited these guys are and the work that they put in. So see them out there, introduce yourself. I've been blessed to work under Jim and to have the interaction with a lot of the membership. So I hope that you're as nice to them as you are to me. So I think we're set there. I'm going to hand it over to Jack, and then, plenty of questions later on. But like I said, we're really excited, and it's good to see a lot of faces and a lot of familiar faces. So thank you.
All right, well, as Caleb said, as we're continuing for this golf course to grow in, we are going to have some areas of ground under repair. So I wanted to go over that real quickly. Ground under repair, how you'll take proper relief. You'll find your nearest point of complete relief. It'll be a 1 club length, no closer to the hole, and that is a free drop. There are a couple areas out there between on hole 3, 11, 17, and 18. We got a couple seeded areas. We'll have those marked off. We'll have drop zones and stuff in place on those holes. But just to be aware that we will have some ground under repair. In addition, we've got a lot of young sod out there. So with that, ball may come to rest in a sod seam. If that is the case, we're going to be playing that as ground under repair. Again, same relief. You find your nearest point, 1 club length, no penalty shot, you're able to drop. Other golf course expectations. I've created 3 educational videos. These will be going out Monday. It's going to be on how to properly repair ball mark, how to properly fix a divot, and what proper golf etiquette or golf cart etiquette looks like. We'll be sending these out via a form called Jot Form. Go ahead and fill that out. It'll be a little link, and this one hopefully we'll be able to capture all of our information so that we can give out some fun prizes like drivers and wedges. Next, I'd love to bring up our panel here. We've got Tim Liddy, our golf course architect. Come on up. Got Mike Gardner. Tim and Caleb, come on up. All right, man. Well, thank you for being here with us today. Fun to have all of you here. Know that you guys have put in so much into this project, and that we really would not be here without all 4 of you. Want to kick it off, Tim? I'd love to ask you a question. What are you most excited for about this renovation?
Most excited. What I love about this golf course probably are 3 things, and I think you guys all love and ladies love them as well. One is it's a beautiful golf course, very walkable golf course, and it's a very playable golf course. And not every golf course has those 3 elements, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of this team. I pushed these guys pretty hard on some items. Would you agree with that? It's a word. But that's my job. That's my job, and I think it brought to the forefront what's important about this golf course. No, Liddy, that's not what we want to do. This is what we want to do. But my job to test it, and I did, and we got through that phase pretty quickly. So those are the things I'm most proud of. It's just a wonderful, playable member golf course. It really is.
That's absolutely right. Jim, next question is going to be for you. How happy are you with the health and progress of our green?
I'm extremely excited about them. We're very happy. We have probably, I would say 98 to 99% coverage on those greens. I mean, they are really, really good shape. We got really fortunate with the weather last year. We had a great growing season. The 10, 12 inches of snow we got this winter actually acted like a blanket. So it was a really good thing. And then we've had a great spring. So they have responded well. Everybody that has kind of in our industry kind of taken a look at them are surprised how good they are. I mean, they're solid. There's a lot of grass on them, which is a good thing. Now we can start managing that. So I'm excited about it.
That's great. That's awesome. Mike, next question for you. From the golfer perspective, do you think the golf course will play easier, harder, or about the same?
So good question. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Good question. And so I get that question a lot. we don't have the ratings back yet. We did have the rating team out here, and the initial feedback was that it's going to be about the same. It's going to be about the same. But I think what you'll see, and Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the lower handicappers will have maybe a little more difficulty, a little more strategy. They got to think a little bit more because some of the bunkers that Tim put in affect the lower handicappers. On the flip side, for the higher handicappers, they may find it actually a little more forgiving because there's some bunkers that were removed. Example would be hole 7 on the front right. There's if you had to drive short right, you got a 200-yard shot in. Probably Mr. Dumas isn't going to hit that first bunker. I am, and so so that bunker's gone there. Those are the kind of things out there I think you'll see that make it kind of a little easier here, a little harder there, but net is about the same.
I might add, Jack, you need to sell everyone the spinniest balls you can sell them. The greens are going to be firm. First year, they're always firm. There's no thatch yet developed under the turf. So they'll be very firm. So buy a spinny ball. It's going to cut your driver down a little bit, but it's going to give you some chance to stop that ball.
And I'll say the new TP5s are awesome.
So are the Pro V1. Great. Next question is going to be for Caleb. Caleb, what's the number one thing you need to keep a close eye on this summer with the new green?
Yeah, Tim mentioned it as well, and I tried to talk about it in the expectations. It's going to be the foot traffic. It's going to be the wear and tear, and then how it responds. Our plan of action is put the plan ahead of everything so that we're mitigating and we're in front of all these things. We hope that as we progress through it, instead of going backwards, we're going to be moving forwards. And that's going to be our stance, is to continue to not push the envelope until they're fully mature and we know the response they're going to have. Because one thing I meant to say, and Jim and I have talked about it a lot, is this first year is going to be a learning experience. We had 13 years of developing and programs and fully understanding what we had, and now we corrected those issues, and we did a really good job to pat ourselves on the back with that issue, and we figured out how to work it. But all those tools and all that experience mean very little with these new greens. So there'll be times we look at each other and we're like, well, that didn't respond the way we thought it did. And that's similar to what Jim said. We've had a lot of people in the area that have done a renovation, and they all say the same thing: is expect the unexpected, and don't, as simple as like a wetting agent doesn't perform the same that it did previously because you've got a different subsoil. There's all these things. So just really being mindful of everything, and the holistic approach is probably, that's not the best answer, but it isn't one single thing. It's going to be the constant evaluation of what we see and how it responds.
Great. Back to Mike here. Mike, how's the transition in leadership going between passing the baton from Jim to Caleb?
Yeah, good question. So actually, it's later on, but I'll jump into that now. So many of you know that Jim is retiring this year. Bittersweet for us, that's for sure. 13, well, now it'll be 14 years together. But, and then with that, officially as of February 1st, Caleb Lytle has taken over the day-to-day reins and is now the director of grounds. So he So with that, as you can tell, for those who walk the golf course or live on the golf course, Jim is still full-time, obviously. He's here sun up to sundown, 6-7 days a week. And so that's the plan, is that he'll continue to stay full-time. He wants to get the golf course open, and then he'll remain with the club through the end of the year. But hopefully, all of you have an extra spot in your games starting in June, and you can ask Jim to play with you a little bit more. Because that's the goal, is that he's going to be here. He's here to support Caleb with this transition, to help ensure that the growing goes well. And again, they continue to learn together, but, also, enjoy a little bit of the fruits of his labor. So, but yeah, no, otherwise it's been going unbelievably well. I am super impressed with two things. One is how Caleb has taken the reins. He has found the right balance of ensuring that, we're respecting what has been done here for 13 plus years, but also ensuring that he has the programs with Jim that they've developed to make sure the golf course is set up for success. And then with that, Jim is, he's a rock. It's unbelievable knowing this is his quote last year, full-time operations, and it hasn't missed a beat. It's impressive. So I am so blessed to have been working with these gentlemen for as long as I have. And I'm just really excited to see the results of all their hard work. So it's been going great. It really is. And Jack, not to back yourself. I'll tell you what, it's impressive to see him taking the reins. This is a big year. There's a lot going on, and to be able to have Jack walk into that with all these new programs, with all of these different kinds of events, and it's hard to walk into any new job, and especially a club like ours, which is a very large club. And Jack, you've done a great job. So congratulations to you also.
Thank you, Mike. Tim, next question is going to be for you. 2 thoughts on how to play the golf course. 1, any tips on how to read the new greens? And then secondly, how am I going to play 16 with the bunker in the middle of the fairway?
I don't need that.
Okay.
Luckily, I don't need it. I still struggle with greens that I have built with Mr. Dye over 30 years because the way they are designed, the way Mr. Dye loved to do them, they always look like they're going to break more than they are, especially in the middle of the greens. So I'm always missing edges. I don't know about you all, but I built the damn things, and it can't be a straight cut. It cannot be a straight cut. So that will be something that you're just going to have to work through that. Secondly, I guarantee you these greens will be phenomenal. This new turf, this new grass, these guys have sounded very cautious. I feel like I'm at the doctor's office. But these new greens, I guarantee you will be beautiful, and there'll be no POA in them. They'll cut wonderful. The new turf is it's rocket science. It's really wonderful. So, and 16 is easy. The middle bunker, you aim at.
I like that. Yeah, definitely won't hit a straight ball, so we good to go. Last question I have, and we'll take a few. Jim, what's the biggest improvement from a maintenance standpoint on the new greens and the new bunkers?
Well, on the greens, it's drainage. They're now able to drain, and we're able to flush them and dry them out. So that's the biggest issue. Greens before, we just couldn't dry them out at all. We couldn't move any water, so that was the problem. On the bunkers, I think it's going to be consistency. It's going to be, they all got sand down. They all got the same amount of sand. And I think they look better, right? They're aesthetic wise. They're just fun. The biggest thing is the greens.
Well, great. All right, we got a little bit of time. Does anyone have any questions for the panel from the floor? Mr. Buchanan.
Yeah, two. One's pretty quick. The tee on the big tree on the left side of number 6 tee bed. There used to be a great big tall tree, and it's gone. Was that damaged with lightning, or was that part of the redesign? The windstorm. It was a windstorm. Yeah. It was uprooted last spring. Yeah. Oh, good. Can't tear it out. So it was, somebody took care of it for us. We cleaned up the mess. Okay. And then the second thing is, I think a lot of people in this room, probably everybody, are going to be really protective of our new golf course. And when we see someone abusing it, like not replacing divots, not fixing ball marks, or just acting, with no etiquette, what is the best way to handle that situation?
It's a really good question. For those of you here on this side of the room, the question is, what happens if you see, your playing partner, take a divot, don't replace the divot, take a ball mark, have a ball mark, and don't fix the ball mark. How do you handle that? I mean, I'm a big believer in peer pressure. Peer pressure is a powerful thing. And, I don't think you should be bashful to remind your colleague, friend, and playing partner that,
I'm sorry, Mike. Mostly I'm talking about as I see other groups doing.
yeah, okay.
Now, I'm not blaming it all on kids. I've seen a lot of kids abuse, not show proper etiquette. But I've seen a lot of adults do it too.
Absolutely, no,
So
and
how
I
do you
agree.
handle that situation?
And so I think that, like anything, first of all, having more presence on the golf course is going to be helpful. I think you have the opportunity to communicate that to the professional staff in the golf shop. With 5 professionals now, that'll help out. You'll see a lot more presence out there. And I think that, they're going to be more proactive about that, communicating and following up and helping educate. That's always the best approach, is that you make the assumption that everyone has best intentions. Maybe they hit the front of the green and they roll off the back and they forget to fix their ball mark. So, you want to give the best benefit of the doubt. But obviously, if they see repeat offenders, then we'll have to take additional steps.
Yeah, and if I could chime in on that as well, feel free to reach out to the golf staff on anything. And then self-policing also, like Mike said, doesn't hurt anything either. But just make sure that we're treating everybody with respect and treating our golf course with respect.
Play most of my rounds with Bill, so I'm not sure where he's going with that.
He's actually already emailing your name, Jen.
But will there be any restrictions on the practice putting green on one? Or is it for warm up mostly? I mean, I could envision a lot of people spending a lot of time on that.
So the putting green number 1 is a multi-purpose green. It's for warm up. But if you notice up there's parking spaces, there will be parking spaces for extended practice for platinum members. So absolutely, it is intended for you to go up there and practice your putting. There isn't enough room for chipping. That's not the intention of it. There won't be chipping allowed up there. But it absolutely encourages you to go up there and roll some putts and practice. Absolutely. No problem at all.
Hold on, Drew. Jack and I named this the other day and we didn't tell anybody, so we're gonna call that the flattening putter. If you ask me the question about that green, it's not gonna be the practice putting green, the flattening putter. So, all right?
Last question. Yep.
Flattening putter.
Yeah. If you see kids on e-bikes, please call the golf shop and we will get on it and take care of it from there.
But if it's after hours, feel free to call the police.
For the first few years, it's gonna have more or less housing.
Sorry, look on that second. Yeah, so we have absolutely restricted the number of outings. We're cutting them in half. So we will, moving forward this year and beyond, we'll have half the outings that we had in the past.
All right, I'm gonna take last two questions right here and then we're going on.
I want to ask Tim if he has any deep dive stories we need to hear.
Good question.
Yeah.
Then I can tell to a crowd.
There are some-
One of my favorite stories, I'll see if I can do it justice. Pete Dye and I would, anyway, he worked at Kohler a lot. There's a story about Kohler, Wisconsin, and Whistling Straits. And the Kohler property had 4 Pete Dye golf courses and a 5-star hotel. And Pete would stay in the hotel and he would take his dog when he went up there. He loved his dog. And Mr. Kohler had dogs, and Mr. Kohler loved dogs. So after Pete would go up there for a few weeks, the manager went to Mr. Kohler and said, well, one other thing I should preface with is when we go up and work at Kohler, Wisconsin, we're in the dirt all day. So we're not, we're hot, sweaty. It's a dirty business, what we do. Sounds glamorous, but it's not. It's a very dirty, crummy business. So anyway, so the manager of the hotel went to Mr. Kohler and said, Mr. Kohler, this is a 5-star hotel. Every time Mr. Dye brings his dog to the room, I've got to fumigate the room after he leaves. Right? And Mr. Kohler said, I don't care whether he brings the dog or not. I would fumigate the room.
Last question right here, then we're moving on.
When do you think you'll get your ratings back on the rating of the new course layout?
We're supposed to get that back on Monday. We're very confident. Let's give it up for our panel today. All right, moving on. I want to go over and introduce my golf staff. For those that were at the winter meeting, you may have seen some of this slide or seen this slide before, but want to go over. First off, I want to turn the attention to the back of the room where we got Brett, our lead assistant, coming back. Happy to have Brett here with us. To Brett's left, my right, we have Bennett McIntyre. Bennett's coming on as a full-time assistant. We also have Andy Oakes. He's actually not here today, but Andy's coming down from Coyote Crossing and has a really, really strong TaylorMade background and club fitting. If you have any club questions at all, Andy Oakes is your guy. Also, we have Callie Boris on staff. She started last week. She's been great. She came down from Olympia Fields Country Club up in Chicago. Very blessed to have her. We have Evan Parker coming next week. He actually is graduating from Florida Gulf Coast today and coming up starting for us next week. Mike Abbott's back as our director of instruction. This is his 25th year at the club. Let's give it up for Mike Abbott. And we also have behind me running slides, Kyle Clay, our outside services manager. I'm going to go over some golf policies, try to keep this quick and keep it moving. Number one, divot replacement. This year, what we are asking, when you take a divot, let's collect the divot, place it on the ground, stand around it, and then smooth over. Doing this is going to create the most playable condition for the group behind us and everyone else. Also, when you're fixing ball marks, always make sure that we're pulling the turf from the outside towards the center rather than going underneath and lifting the center up. Doing that's just ripping the roots out, and we're not doing any good by that. So we ask that. Lastly, if your ball lands on the green doesn't stay on the green, let's still make sure we're being cognizant enough to go and fix that pitch mark. Pace of play is important. We are rated at 4 hours and 10 minutes. We ask that we make sure that you all stay to this out of respect for your membership and everyone else here at the club so that we can create the best experience for those around us. Restroom usage, we ask you to be courteous to our neighbors and remember where we are. Let's avoid the trees and let's use the restroom. We got restrooms placed on holes 4, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 17. Restroom code is going to be 7235. 7235. Our family guest policy this year has been defined as a grandparent, parent, or child of a platinum member or spouse. I guess it could be any member if you're playing over, platinum member or spouse. And then as far as our music policy, music is permitted on the golf course. We just ask you to be respectful with it, right? Let's make sure our volume's at a level where you can hear it if it's in your group. Make sure that what the content you're playing is family friendly and appropriate, and also doesn't disturb the experience of others or the pace of play. Going on to dress code. Dress code this year, we asked the men, let's keep our shirts tucked in. Let's keep our hats forward. We do those two things. We're in a good spot. We got a couple other little minor details here as well. Make sure we're not wearing cargo shorts, things like that. Collars on golf shirts, mock necks, or that blade collar is allowed. But other than that, let's do our best to look our best. Ladies, we've got a ladies policy here. We're trying to make sure that we're still representing the family-friendly image of the club while also giving ladies the ability to wear something comfortable. We ask that, collared polos still are standard, but with short sleeve shirts are allowed, provided that they have a crew neck collar. If you're wearing a sleeveless top, you will be required to have a collar. Other tops, as long as we ask that, fashionable tops with a modest neckline, no midriff exposed, and concealed garments. Sleeveless tops, we ask that it's a 1-inch width on the sleeve or on the strap, no halter tops, tube tops, or sheer tops without lining. For bottom, we have, let's make sure that our shorts, and skirts, are reaching at least mid-thigh, and upholding the family-friendly image of the club. moving on to our favorite policy we've got coming down the pipeline. Two-car policy this year. We are going to implement this with all the new, fresh, young sod out there. This is in the best interest of the golf course to implement our two-car policy. So I know that I'm probably not making any friends here with this, but the golf course will like us, and we need to make sure that we keep that as our priority. So with that said, foursomes and threesomes, they will be limited to 2 carts. Twosomes and singles will be limited to 1 cart. So we're doing this, just limit the amount of carts on the golf course, keep turf in the best condition possible. With this in place, we have to plan ahead on sharing carts and kind of get that our brains thinking that way a little bit so we can start being proactive rather than reactive here. And then this policy will be in place until at least July 1st. At that point, we'll be able to monitor, assess the golf course and the conditions and make our best decision for the future. As far as enforcement goes, again, please, we ask you do your best to follow this. Actually, we ask you do this, to follow this, and failure to comply, golf shop will be around. So let's just make sure that we're not being thinking about the entire membership, not just ourselves. We also have a new trail fee release that has been sent out via job form again. If you have any questions on that, this is for our trail fee holders, just a way that we can make sure that we're following all of our guidelines, specifically with insurance. Out on the golf course, we do have sensitive areas. The first and foremost is the fresh sod. So there will be some signage out there as well, but we also ask that you guys just exercise caution when driving out there. Avoid making any sharp turns, especially on the new side, because that's going to be what could cause the most damage. Additionally, when you're driving, make sure we're not ever turning the wheel without the cart moving. Otherwise, we're basically damaging the roots right below you. Avoid any sudden stops or fast starts. Doing all of this is in the best interest of our golf course. There will be some areas out there that may not be marked, so just use your best judgment on where to drive. Make sure we're avoiding low spots, all things like that. When we're driving on a cart path, let's make sure we have all 4 wheels on the cart path rather than driving, get 2 wheels off the path. We're causing damage to that turf right along the path. And that's something that we're looking to avoid this year. As far as cart path and traffic restrictions, there may be days we have to go cart path only or 90 degree. That'll all just be based off of weather conditions and golf course conditions, but we're going to do our best, like Caleb said, to make this golf course as open as possible. And so we ask for your compliance and your help on that so that we can all be in this together to do our part. New for 2026, we are now allowing golf scooters. Fun little way to get out there and make the game fun, enjoyable, and accessible. A couple policies on this. The golf scooters must be, first off, they must be a golf-specific vehicle, and they must be approved by the golf staff based off of the following, tire pressures, other specs of the vehicle. So all that will come through myself to be approved. Colors still must be either green. We are going to allow black scooters because of the very, very limited number of green scooters. And then they will also be under the appropriate trail fee. So we are going to discount the trail fee on scooters. We're going to give a 15% discount because of the less wear and tear that's putting on the golf course. We're trying to encourage this. Regarding junior golf is awesome. It's why we're all here, because we at one point picked up the club and fell in love with the game. So we are going to have some new junior golf policies here. Any children 10 and under will not be charged a cart fee or a guest fee. And this applies to both Championship Golf Course and our executive golf course. Groups that have a child under 10 cannot tee off before 11 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. And we do that just so we can keep the golf course available to the main membership. So we're also implementing our junior golf certification. So this is going to be a certification in place. The juniors will go through, and this will, once they complete the certification, they will then have access to play either the exec or the championship golf course without a parent. A couple of things in here in this program is they must show how to properly repair a ball mark, how to fix a divot, how to rake a bunker, show awareness for groups in front, behind, and around them, and then also make sure the pace of play is not an issue, that they're able to either carry or push their bag quickly and easily with the golf professional there. So once they complete that, they will be certified and able to go out on the golf course, but we're doing this so that we can, it's a great way to encourage juniors to uphold the standards of the golf course, And it's also a little reward for them as well, and it's a way that we can make sure that our golf course is in the best possible condition. Couple junior golf programs we're offering this summer. We've got our PGA Junior League, kids 13 and under. Got our Little Chip for ages 4 to 6. And then Mike Abbott's got all of his junior golf programming going on as well. And then as well as any of the private instruction with any of our professional staff members. This year, our junior club championship will be on August 9th. We'll have our 13 and older division over on the championship golf course, and our 12 and under divisions will all be on the exec. Over on the executive golf course, we'll have our 9, 6, and 3-hole division. We look forward to that and always having the juniors to be able to get out and compete a little bit. Couple updates around the clubs. Like I mentioned with the quick question here, we are in the process of being re-rated. We don't quite have our results in yet. Once we do, we'll get them out, published, and set so that everybody can see it. I'd be curious to see how the golf course compares. I'm sure that there will be some changes in the rating, but really interested to see how our new golf course fares. As Jim mentioned, we also have our new yellow tees. This is part of the Play It Forward initiative that's kind of going around nationwide. This features 7 new tee boxes, 4 new tee boxes on the front, 3 new tee boxes on the back. And then the total yardage of this new tee will be 4849. So we've got something under 5,000 yards. Great way for everybody to get out there and be able to hit an iron into a green rather than having to always hit width into a green. One other update that we're really excited to announce is Easy Locator. So Easy Locator is it's a pen software that Caleb will be using. So that if you're mad at a pen, now we're blaming Easy Locator. We're not blaming Caleb anymore. So this is generated. Easy Locator came out actually last Monday. They scanned all of our greens to understand the slopes of them, get the heat maps on them, and basically know what's going to be a legal pen and what's not going to be a legal pen. From there, the software will be able to generate the pens for the day. Caleb's crew will get this pen sheet. He'll go out, face it off. Our crew will have it in the golf shop. But most importantly, you will all have it on the Bridgewater app. So you'll be able to go on through your app. It'll be one of the icons under the golf tab. It isn't there yet, but it will be as soon as we get that connection with North Star, and it'll pull up the daily pen. I think that it's something that's going to be an added value to the membership. I'm going to hand it over to Mike Gardner. He's going to go over a couple more announcements from around the club, and then we'll get to over there.
Okay. Thanks, Jack.
Yep.
Okay, so a lot of other things have taken place in preparation for the reopening of the golf course. First and foremost, we have new restrooms that have been renovated. So all new fixtures, new flooring, new walls, new lighting. So all the restrooms have been done. Obviously, the except for the one at the bridge, which is gone. But otherwise, those will be ready to roll out. We also have, we rolled out the new ice machines a few years ago, but now we've upgraded those. Followers Nation, actually Rick Beach, who's a member of ours, a fellow platinum member, his company, we've contracted with them to have reverse osmosis water and ice machines. So it's an upgraded quality of water, which is really nice. So that's going to be on the golf course at both restrooms. It'll also be at the temporary restroom at the bridge and also in the green jacket. And for those who play racket sports or go by the pool, that unit will also be the reverse osmosis system. So again, nice upgrade, which is great. Also, brand new golf carts. I know there's a lot of trophy owners here, but we have a brand new fleet that is on its way. We have part of it that arrived yesterday. The rest will be here Monday. So all brand new carts, which is really nice. And Club Card did a great job of reconfiguring the whole front console to be, more friendly with, phones and lasers and all that kind of stuff. Way better than it used to be. Still has the premium leather seats and the cushion seats, but nice quality upgrade. Also, a new electric bev cart is officially on property now, and which is great. So yeah, you won't hear the backfiring anymore. Coming down, you won't get prepared 3 holes in advance. So yeah, it'll be quietly rolling around, which is really great for this season. We will have the old one that periodically goes out, which I'll talk about in a minute here, but it'll be stationary. It won't be rolling around like the old one. Okay, that brings up what is the plan? What is the plan with the bridge this year? So as you all know, it's no longer there. You can see a picture though. We have a new bridge that was built. It's a standard bridge. It matches the rest of the golf course. Did a great job of putting that in. Still some little tie-ins that have to be completed. But otherwise, we're going to have the bev cart, the new one, the electric one, running every day. So we'll have that running 7 days a week. we'll be able to actually Steve went through and looked at what we sold at the bridge. And I think about 95% of the items that we have sold food-wise will be available on the cart. We'll have the wraps. We'll be able to have, I think we're actually going to do even hard-boiled eggs and all kinds of other things. Now, the challenge is going to be, it's obviously smaller. So what we'll have to find is, okay, is there a run on high noon today or a flavor of high noon? And so we may have to come back and restock that. Or as we're seeing more members buying certain drinks. So anyway, the point is there'll be a filling out process because we can't have all the drinks and have a deep stock on each one. So there'll be a little bit of that. Okay, what are members buying? Again, Steve's got the sales report from last year, so he's going to try to start out based on what we sold last year most frequently. But otherwise, at the old location, we're still going to have temporary restrooms, and they'll be like when you go to like a tour event, and you have those nice trailers. And so you walk in, they're conditioned, they'll have hot and warm water running there. It'll be as good as it can be for a temporary setup. We'll also have the there, and then periodically we'll also have that old Bev car parked out there. But also on some peak days, you may have grill out there and run fresh hamburgers, hot dogs, and grilled chicken and whatnot. So they'll on like maybe Fridays and Saturdays. But also the goal was that obviously we're going to have something permanent there, but we didn't want to have a bunch of construction taking place all summer long. All of you waited so patiently. We want you to enjoy the beauty of the golf course. We don't want to have contractors rolling back from down 10, and hammering and all that kind of stuff. So we decided that we're going to wait and build that next winter. And the estimations are it'll take about 3 or 4 months. The plan is that we'll have obviously permanent restrooms out there. We'll have a little larger building. We're going to put it on land. It won't be actually on the bridge, which is why we built a standard size bridge. And that gives us more room. And the idea would be that you walk into this space, kind of more of a comfort station format that you would see maybe at Silverleaf or Shell Bay down in Miami, some high-end clubs and whatnot. So it'll be a much nicer. And the idea, as I talked to many of you, doing the best we can to make lemonade out of lemon. And so, it's obviously a tough situation that we didn't plan on, but we're going to make it better and nicer for next year. But in the short term, we're still going to have services out there. Again, it'll be a filling out process, but we will still have services available. Okay, we talked about the superintendent transition already, so I'll skip through that. So here we are. Yeah. Okay. So here we are. The day has come for the announcement of when we're opening. The culmination of all the hard work, the years of planning, and wow, I can't believe it's here. So, drum roll, let's do it. Drum roll. The official opening day is May 16th, Saturday, May 16th. All right. So 2 weeks from today, we'll have our opening weekend. But yeah, I can't believe it's here. It's nice to see that it's early. It's funny when Jim put out there that our goal is to open Memorial Day weekend. I don't think he looked at the calendar. This year's Memorial Day is like a week early. Yeah. So in a lot of ways, this is like 2 weeks early, which is really great. The biggest thing is what our hierarchy of decision was starting with the greens. When are the greens healthy enough to play on? When is it safe to play on them? When is it the point where you're not going to hurt them? And we're at that point, which is great. Now it's about dialing them in, refining them. Sure, there's still some areas that need to grow in. As Jim said, there's 96, 98% coverage. But actually, as we start maintaining them, it'll actually start helping. It'll grow lateral growth. Sure, yes, there'll be ball marks. Sure, there'll be more wear and tear from foot traffic. But in the end, it's going to be, they're ready. They're ready. You're not going to hurt them. And that's the number one thing. Now, there are other things out there. With us opening a little bit early, there are some ancillary projects that are still being completed. And so with that, we're going to have some days that we need to close. We're going to close the Monday and Tuesday after the grand opening weekend. That's twofold. One is to ensure that the golf course can recover. Because, we figure we're going to have 400 rounds that we're going to play on that opening weekend between those 2 days. We've got to make sure the golf course recovers, make sure we're doing the right thing, in addition to let the team do some maintenance. So that's going to be the Monday and Tuesday. And then the following Tuesday after Memorial Day weekend, and then the following Monday, June 1st. Those are planned closures at this point to make sure that we've got that set up. But otherwise, we've got an opening weekend. I'm going to have Jack go through what the plan is for opening weekend, because as you can imagine, there's a lot of demand, and so we'll make sure we give everybody a chance to play the golf course. So, Jack.
All right, here we go. Let's go. All right, so opening weekend, our format will be 2 shotguns each day. We're gonna have a 9 a.m. shotgun and a 3 p.m. shotgun. This will be on May 16th, May 17th. Sign up for this weekend will all be done through Golf Genius, so it won't be on the tee sheet. It'll be through Golf Genius. And then I'm gonna jump down. Actually, I'm gonna say sign-ups are going to be opening on Thursday, May 7th at 7 a.m. So sign-ups will be when you sign up, you'll request what your first preference of the 4 shotguns is, and then your second and third option as well. So we're doing this in our hopes to give everybody the best chance to get out and play the golf course that weekend. When you're signing up, you'll be able to sign up either in pairs or couples, or as a single. I mean, the golf shop will do pairings. We're going to do this just so that we can do our best to accommodate everybody and accommodate everybody's schedules because of how excited we are to have you all, the membership, out playing golf. Opening will be open to all platinum members and their spouses. Dependents will be based on availability. We are capping each shotgun at 100 players. We're doing this to both protect the golf course and the pace of play, so that your experience out there is top tier. This whole weekend we'll have a fun little tournament going for this. It'll be based on each day. You'll have a morning and afternoon wave. We'll be playing in a 1 best ball of 4 event, and then we'll also have closest to the pins running all day. So let's see who can come out and bring their iron game from the executive championship and win the closest to the pins. Before our 9 a.m. shotgun on Saturday, May 16th, we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony on the first hole. We're going to do this, kind of go over, will be a chance for us to recap everything, and also honor Caleb, Jim, and his whole crew on what all they did. They put in so many hours and a lot of sweat into this that we want to do something. We want to make sure that they're around to be honored. Then we're going to have our inaugural tee shot hit by our longest tenured platinum member, Pat Perry. She'll be out there hitting the first tee ball. And then we wanted to do something special for our first 2 groups out as well, or our 1A and our 1B groups in that shotgun. So our 1A group is going to be our longest tenured platinum members. So it'll obviously be Mrs. Perry. It'll be Terry Weiss and Kent and Bobby Erb out playing in that. So it's such a special opportunity. For those people that are going to And then our 1B group was going to be our past club champions. So our current defending club champions will all be getting together, teeing it up with Ken Liddy and going out. So that's going to be Dave Richter as our senior club champion, Mike Lee as our men's club champion, and Paige Bolander as our ladies club champion, going out, teeing it up together. So with the new golf course, the big question is, will the course record be set that first? Be a low gross, and you got a good chance at it. Like Mike said, to protect the golf course, make sure it recovers. We are going to have a couple early week closures. That's going to be on that Monday, May 18th, Tuesday, May 19th, Tuesday, May 26th, and then Monday, June 1st. We're just doing this to make sure the golf course recovers, and we are confident that the greens will continue to strengthen and be in a good playing condition. As we open, our tee time booking process is going to look a little bit different than it has in years past. We're going to be starting with a 5-day in advance tee time rather than the 14, which is our standard. The reason we're doing this is so that we can keep the best eye on the golf course, and if something happens, if we need to change tee time intervals, anything like that, at least we have the opportunity to do that 5 days rather than 14 days. So with that said, May 15th at 7 a.m. is when the tee sheet will open for May 20th, which will be our first day of regular play. Again, May 15th, 7 a.m., tee sheet opens for regular play, booking opens for regular play on May 20th. As conditions improve, we're hoping to go back to 7 days and then honestly return to 14 days in advance by July 15th, but we will do our best to communicate all of this in advance so that you all are in the know and know what's going on. On June 15th, this is when we're going to reintroduce Choose Up Blocks, Ladies Golf Leagues, and all of our other tournaments. So before June 15th, there will be no blocks on the tee sheet. Tee sheet will be completely open for the membership to go out and play golf. Speaking of the membership being able to go out and play golf, the first couple weeks we will be a member-only golf course. This means we'll have no guest play until June 2nd. So June 2nd will be the first day that we allow guests this year on the championship golf course. Each platinum member will receive one unrestricted guest pass for the 2026 golf season. And then we also, with our June 2nd being their first guest play day, we are going to wait until August to start allowing either unaccompanied or charity groups back out on the championship golf course. I think this is super important to have you, the members, have first crack at your own golf course and be able to play it on less impeded and be able to hopefully start capping up the round and enjoying Bridgewater again. With that, we open it up for questions. Thank you all for being here. Any questions? Oh, hang on.
So the opening weekend is pretty interesting. So if you see what the entry fee is, you notice it's going to be $16.26. Anyone want to guess what that is? Oh, I think one more hint. Drinks that day will be $5. 5, 16, 26. It's the opening day. So $5 drink, 16.26. 16.26 will include a continental breakfast in the morning for those who are playing in the morning. It'll also include lunch for everybody. So if you're teeing off in the afternoon, come in early, enjoy lunch with that. It'll also have a tea gift for everybody. And also each day we'll have a $1,000 prize pool that we're going to throw in. So a little fun, but a little memorable $16.26 opening day entry thing. So, okay. Other questions? Let's start with questions. A lot of information. As you can tell, this is the culmination of a lot of work, not only on the golf course, but in the clubhouse here, prepare and make sure that we're ready to go for all of you. But so we're excited to roll this finally out. But what kind of questions do you have? Bill, you reached your quota. Now, go ahead.
Number one, can we sign up for both days on the shotgun?
So what it will be is the whole weekend will be one sign up only. And you'll have your first, second, third priority of the 4 shotguns.
Okay.
And you'll get, then what the golf shop will do is they will go through that and kind of plug and play as best they can, make sure he gets at least one opportunity. If there are spaces available after everybody has been filled in, then a second maybe opportunity, a third opportunity could be backfilled in.
And can we sign up as foursomes?
No, just maximum of 2.
Just 2?
Yep.
Okay.
Just maximum 2, either pairs or singles. Other questions?
The normal tee times though, once the 20 hits, like from 8 o'clock to 5 or what? Or
Yeah, normal tee times. And that's one of the reasons the 5 days is there, because we may be adding in starter times to kind of reduce the number of rounds if we feel that's necessary based on how the golf course is responding. But otherwise, the tee time intervals are exactly the same, the 9 minutes still. So we're going to reevaluate July 1st, both for 2 reasons. One is we're going to see what the golf course looks like, and we're going to see what the membership thinks about it. So we actually want to get, well, because here's the interesting part. After we roll this out at the men's winter meeting, I was really interested that a number of members came to Jack and I and were absolutely supportive that they wanted it permanent. So what we're going to do is we're going to send a survey out. We're going to send a survey out as we approach July 1st to get an anecdotal feedback of what's is the golf course condition dramatically improved? And because of that, I mean, obviously more carts creates more wear and tear, which obviously the golf course will not be in as good a shape with more carts. So the question is going to be, giving up the cart, pairing up, is that more beneficial to get the benefit of the improved golf course condition? We fully understand the importance and how integral it is to being a part of the club and having your own cart. And so if the membership overwhelmingly says, we don't care, we'll take a few more runs around the cart pass, we'll take a little more, beat up fairways, and 80% say that, sure. And we feel that the golf course is ready to do that. So there's two analytical points here. Is the golf course ready to handle more traffic? And does the membership want to go back to 2 carts? We'll do a survey and we'll see what the survey says. And we totally respect what your feedback is on it. Chris.
Going into 2 carts.
Mhm.
Say a big outing event like Harding's Heroes. That means there's gonna be a lot of carts down here. Is somebody gonna be watching those carts? Because you get things that get off, people could just walk by and pay.
So watching them, I mean, we have a lot of outside service staff.
There you go.
Kyle just raised his hand.
I also think we have a lot more. So our outside staff, I probably added, what do you think, 13, 14 new people, all either retired or guys who have full-time jobs just looking for some extra money. think there's a lot more responsible people out there. So we're gonna keep an eye, as long as I just ask that you keep your key in case we have to move it, because we've got to adjust to our carts and stuff. If anybody touches your cart, I'll take them down.
But I have to have a disclaimer, formally, we're not responsible if somebody, somebody missing your car. Sorry. Wait.
They go through the fairways and replace the fan, the divots. That seems to be the worst time. We have a lot of divots in the fairway.
Well, this year there's only 3 outings. You're talking 360 rounds out of 20,000 plus rounds. So most of the rounds will not be an issue from outings. We're going to roll them out opening day. May 16th, the brand new balls will be out there. And that's the tail race. No, the plan is not to be car path only. No, by having 2 cart restriction, it allows us not to be car path only, weather pending, of course. If we get 2.5 inches of rain like we got on Monday nights, then absolutely we move car path only. But just, no, it's normal maintenance practices when it comes to car path. Unlike Colonial Country Club, I all know Colonial Country Club in Texas, they were car path only for a year. 1 year, they were car path only. But that's right?
Yeah, yellow.
It was 1 year. So no, we are not going to be car path only. We're talking about.
He's right back here.
There you go. Yeah, you called that. Called the pro. That's what you said. 1 year. Yeah.
Are you gonna have a starter part of this year or this year?
So
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So during peak times, we'll always have a professional on the tee this year. I think it's something that's really important to me and to my staff, being able to make sure that we are out there, specifically probably with the 2-cart policy, just so that we can be present, whether that's, changing bags, moving carts around, so that we can be present on the first tee.
Other questions? Oh, yeah. Good question. Currently, no, you don't. You can use one of our carts. And I say currently because we did consider that as possibly a modification of policy, but we did not change it this year. So no, at this point, you can use one of our carts if your other cart is being used. Currently being used on the golf course.
After this first weekend, is it open season for booking tee times?
Yeah, so the dates again off the top of my head.
May 15th is the first day you can book a tee time.
For the 20th. May 15th, you can book a tee time. For the 20th. 20th will be the first day that we're normal operations. For normal tee times.
5 days,
And we'll start out with 5 days in advance. Correct. 7 a.m., 5 days in advance is when the tee sheet opens up. Oh. Yeah, that works. Okay, yeah. I couldn't tell that on. I texted. So like, like I said, we're just getting all the kinks out in this first meeting, because this stuff doesn't matter compared to what's going to be experienced out there. But yeah, no, I know, Rick. I texted Tim and Doc this morning. I thought they would have told you. No, they didn't tell you? Okay. And I figured nobody reads the emails. They didn't see the first email that it said that. Other questions? Oh. So the intervals will be the same, 9 minutes, but we may be dropping in starter times, which limits the number of available tee times if we feel that the golf course needs to have a reduction in rounds or that we need to do additional maintenance based on the new golf course. So that's how we're going to manage it. We may not have to, and we may not have to do that. Maybe we don't do it initially. We may have to do it a month later. So we're going to use starter times, but having that shorter window allows us to drop those in if we start seeing stress on the golf course. But otherwise, it's 9-minute intervals, same as one.
New electric golf cart, hold bigger bottles of liquor.
TBD. I don't know that. How about a funnel? Okay, last question. I do it? That's it? Okay, well, as you can tell, we're super excited. Thanks for being here this morning. Thanks for being patient.